Three, two, one, action. So today we're here with Sean Elégance.
Hello.
So how are you doing?
Doing okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
It's amazing.
So we're pushing on to the back end of 2025 now and going into the first quarter of 2026.
Yeah.
What's the plans and procedures for the next batch for Sean Elégance, the brand?
The next procedure for me is being consistent. That's number one. Consistent in my sound, consistent in my lane, consistent in what I'm portraying to the audience. Number two, releasing quality, cultivating my sound to a point where it's the best I can possibly do. You know? Those are the first three things. And working towards the album. I'm not going to say it because in the previous set that we did, I said when the album's coming out, but I'm going to leave it until they know me a bit more because right now I'm a nobody.
Why do you say that you're a nobody?
It's humble, it's humility speaking in terms of I know right now I'm still cultivating my sound. I'm still climbing up the ranks. I understand there's so much work to be done. In terms of me saying I'm a nobody, the world doesn't know me yet. The world doesn't know my sound. The world doesn't know what I have to offer yet. I'm confident that in the future they will, but at this present moment in time, there's a lot of groundwork to do. There's so much work to do. It's why I like to keep myself grounded in terms of I never want to think that I've done anything. I always want to carry this mindset no matter how much accolades I ever have in the future that there's always work to be done. So for me, literally speaking and metaphorically speaking, I'm a nobody. I still need to keep working. There's no point where I'm like, I've made it because I haven't made it, you know? So that's the reason why I said that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And moving into 2026, what's some hard lessons and harsh lessons that you've learned from 2025 that you're gonna push on and do a little bit better in 2026?
Some harsh lessons that I've learned in 2025 is, number one, the music journey is probably the hardest journey I've encountered ever. I've done a lot of things in my rudimentary stages of life, but there's nothing that comes close to music. Right now, I'm currently independent. I have no label. I fund my studio sessions, my music videos, everything completely independent. And I've learned that the harshest lesson I've learned is nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to say, hi, Sean Elégance, I believe in you. Or Sean, yo, come on. You're going to be alone for a lot of the process of music. And a lot of people cannot fathom that. I was speaking in the studio with my engineer, my videographer, Gene, about this concept that I haven't made, but it's already been on the internet, that it's last man standing. The music journey is genuinely last man standing. It'll become a point where you start music and you have all the support in the world due to proximity. So when you're close to a lot of people, when a lot of people are around you, they'll support you because that's your friend, that's your mate, you're going to school together. But once you leave school, it gets real. And I'm at that stage where it's been real for quite a few years. You have to support yourself. I hate to go on a tangent, but it is so imperative that you understand that nobody's going to be there for you. Nobody's going to push you to go to the studio, especially when you're independent. You have to understand, internalize, and say, no matter what, I'm going to do this. But a lot of people cannot fathom this part of the journey, you know, when nobody's looking, when the camera's not on you, when you're not getting the streams, when you're not getting the listens, when you're not getting the people wanting to see what you're doing. And I've learned that this whole year, not even just 2025, 2024, 2023. This journey is the hardest journey you will undergo. You will look like a fool in front of many people. Many people will misunderstand you. That's a key thing. You will be misunderstood. Like, you're trying to do something which is so big, you're going to be looked at as if, what is this guy on? They're going to think you're deranged because what you are doing is so different from the norm. So I hope that answered your question anyway.
Yeah. Very broad. I like it.
Thank you, sir.
And just to bounce off of that, what people may not know is that you've been doing this for 9 years.
Yes.
And you're still in the early stages, like you mentioned.
Yes.
And one of the things that people will see on episode 8 of Behind the Elegance is one of the key things that you mentioned is about branding.
Perfect.
Why is branding and the business of Sean Elégance so important, even at this early stage?
That's an amazing question. I want to start off by saying I don't know anything in terms of I'm still learning. I'm going to do an educated assumption, but this is what I've learned, my own experience. The question's about branding, right?
Yeah.
Cool. You can't do all things, you have to choose one. So this is going to be more of a message to myself, really, because I need to listen to this as much as anyone, because like I say, I'm still not there yet. You cannot do 3,000 things at once. You can't have 3,000 identities. A brand, simply put, if we're going to define the term, is how people recognize you. So for instance, when we see an M and we see red and yellow, what do you think of? McDonald's.
Yep.
When you see, for instance, I'm not wearing no designer brand right now. If I look at this MacBook, for instance, that I've got over here, has an Apple logo. What do you think of when you see an Apple logo?
Cool.
That's what a branding is. This is my assumption. Now, as artists, because we're creatives, we refuse to listen to this. We don't really, even me, it's took me 9 years to understand this. I still don't, you know? When people come to your page, you are a product. When people come to you, whoever you are, they're coming to see, okay, what are you selling? You're selling yourself in music, in terms of you're selling your music, you're selling your identity, you're selling your image, you're selling all of these things as one. So your brand needs to be consistent. And I've failed at this, you know, in terms of I've had so many different identities that people be like, okay, what can we follow? Whereas now I'm very comfortable in knowing who I am, what I do, and what I represent for the world. So to put it simply, a brand is how people associate and recognize you. That's all a brand is. Every time I'm trying to learn something, I learned this from Alex Hormozy, one of my favorite people on YouTube. He likes to define things, and I've took that on. I'll define what the thing means and how it implies to me. What is Sean Elégance? Okay, Sean Elégance likes singing in Kompa. Sean Elégance sings in Spanish and English. Sean Elégance sings in Spanish and English on Kompa. That's my brand. So I hope I answered that with eloquence.
Yeah, you did.
Mm.
And to add to that as well,
Yeah.
you've also got your styling, the way you present yourself as well, as part of the branding as well. So there's more to it.
There's more to it.
But moving on to the next question, the people want to know why you sticking to Kompa now.
It's the best genre in the world.
How can you make it global?
So since I was I think 8 years old, I'll tell you a little background story. I listened to, it was Nelson Freitas Deeper, around 7 or 8 years old. One of my neighbors in the street, he, God rest his soul, he was playing this song, and my brothers used to go to my neighbor's house all the time, right? And I remember he used to play this song by Nelson Freitas called Deeper. Ooh, girl, tell me if you feel me too. What a hit. Anyways, from that song, I was like, what the hell is this? Even from a young age, I was like, this thing right here. And I remember in year 7, I used to type Kompa remix. So I listened to Rihanna Rehab, and I'm like, Kompa remix. Chris Brown, Ayo, Kompa remix. And I'll be doing all of that, right? And I just remember just falling in love. Just listening to the music, it's a spiritual feeling. So to answer your question and bring it back to the question, why Kompa is because I fucking love it. You know, it speaks to me. Like most of the songs that I listen to, I don't even understand what they're saying, but the beat alone just speaks to me. Like, it's just so spiritual for me, and it's authentic to me. So when I'm in the studio, it doesn't take me that long to make these songs, only because I listen to this over and over again. So I understand the cadence of the beat, I understand the instrumentals, I understand the melodies, I understand all of these things. So I'm like, this is what needs to be done. And on top of that, I feel like, in fact, I know right now there's a missing for uniqueness, there's a missing for abstract, there's a missing for something which is different to what's being presented in the UK. Yes, the music is whatever the music is, but I know Kompa is an underrated genre. Kompa is an undersaturated genre. Kompa is something that people don't know about. So therefore, I feel like it's my mission and it's imperative for me to say, all right, cool, the world, this is what this genre is about. You know how Amapiano has done well. You know how Afrobeat's done well. You know how reggaeton did well. All these genres. This for me is that. And I genuinely believe, I even liked up when speaking about it, it is the best genre in the world for me, you know? And all I want to do, even if I could leave a little dent and just show even 10 more people about this and they start listening to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why. So to bring it to the root of the question, I love it. It's underrated. And I genuinely believe it's the best genre in the world. There's rarely been a time where I've listened to a Kompa song and been like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
You know?
So, with that being said, where would you see yourself performing Kompa?
Hope it happens, but Afro Nation. You knew I was gonna say that. Nah. Yeah, that Afro Nation, man. I genuinely believe. We don't know, we'll see. I won't say my goal or dream yet. But on the main stage, you know, you got the beat, the breakdown. You know, when the beat plays, it's just I feel like I'm levitating. That's the best. I just start closing my eyes whilst listening to it. You know? So yeah.
And I know you're not gonna give the people too much. You're holding back a little bit.
Yeah,
However, there is specific stages, performances that relate more to Kompa in terms of like location, the people, the crowd. Do you visualize things like that as well?
Yeah.
What do you visualize?
I visualize a bunch of people just singing the lyrics to the songs that I make. Yeah. I mean, a bunch of people saying that, my ad-libs and stuff. You know, hopefully in the future we'll see. But yeah, I do have a vision in terms of locations, maybe South America, Dominican Republic, definitely Haiti. Have to go to the Haitians. You know, they're so underrepresented in terms of this. So, yeah.
And for the people that don't know, are there any concerts that they should look out for when it comes to Kompa worldwide, or any that you know of?
That's a good question. To be honest, that's a good question. And to be honest, I'm not too sure, you know. And this is why I need to do it. Because even me, I'm still learning whilst I do it.
Yeah.
So I need to know, okay, where are in terms of the UK, I know it's not that big here. It's all in Montreal, Paris, Canada, Dominican Republic, of course, the French Caribbean around there. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And anything else that you want to add?
In terms of?
For this interview, for what the people have got to come up when it comes to Sean Elégance, or any updates?
This will probably be one of my last interviews in a while. I don't really like doing them, only because, like I said, I rightfully say at the start of my interview, I've still not done what I've set out to do yet. So I feel like if I talk too much, I'm not working too much. I don't like hearing my own voice. I don't like doing all of this. I only do this, number one, so people can see eventually when my thing materializes the mindset I had at the young age of 22. So I'm 22, I'm still learning, I don't know anything. I'm still learning. That's the main thing. So every time I'm here doing an interview, I'm just updating myself and just giving myself the support that I need. Because if there's one takeaway that I'm going to get from this interview is when you do this music thing, be prepared to be laughed at, to be mocked, to be overlooked, to lose people, to be lonely. This journey is so lonely. Why? Because what you're doing is so different. You know?
Yeah.
In everything I do, even the way I dress, I'm idiosyncratic. Like it's so adverse to the norm. So what I understand now is, okay, cool. You need to internalize that, okay, most people are not going to understand you. Most people will think you're weird. Most people think you're doing too much. Most people will think all of these things, but you have to have that self-belief because the world can tell you no, but you have to tell yourself, yeah. That's my slogan. Like I wake up every day and I'm like, all right, this is what needs to be done. Regardless of how I feel, regardless of what people say, I have a dream. This is what I want to do. And as long as, let's say I didn't make it in music, as long as I could say, okay, cool, I've done everything I possibly could, I could live with that. And I want this interview to carry on a bit longer because now I've said that it's going to be one of my last ones. I'm gonna leave it on the table. So let's do this interview even a bit longer, brother. I've learned that literally, let me get what's up, man. I've learned that literally you are going to be alone. You are going to lose people along the journey and you need to prepare yourself for this. I always say this is the hardest journey you will go through. Please understand this. Please understand that if you are not willing to do something for even a decade and not see results, you're not made for this journey. I've seen so many people. I started music. Seriously, I'd say 2024. Seriously, but I've started music in 2016. 9 years ago, I've seen so many people come and go. Last man standing.
And you also mentioned to Motion how people will come in, they will come in, they will come in.
Yeah.
And during the school times, that's when it's
That's what I'm saying.
it's good to do.
Because I'll do a timeline right now. The way it works is this. And I'm saying this from my own experience. You'll start music or whatever made you start music. For me, I started at 12. I came back at 15. By proximity, people will support you. So from ages 15 to maybe 18, you'll have all the support in the world. Cool, because you're going to college together, you're going to school, you're all in these little circles. Everything is in unison, okay? Then life hits. You either go to university, you have to get a job, you have to do something to maintain this. For instance, this is not my full-time gig. I do sales, you know? Until music pays, I have to do something that pays. People can't fathom that. People cannot fathom that at one point, the views will go like this, everything will go like this, but you have to support you. Right now, I don't speak to that many people. Am I not happy about that? I've never really thought about that. But I understand that music requires all of me. If you look over here in my house, I've got a lot of books that inspire me. So Tim Grover, Relentless is the best book I've ever read in my life. The book on mental toughness, the 50th Law. Obviously, we've got the Holy Bible, Michael Jackson Moonwalk book. But that Relentless Tim Grover book is the best book I've ever read in my life. Why? I'll tell you why. It talks about everything I'm discussing right now. If you truly want to win, in terms of what I've learned is, you can't crave the validation from everyone. He breaks it down in 3 terms, being a cleaner, a closer, and a cooler. You understand? Now, I'm not even going to go into definitions of, what I think I am, but I'll just define what all of these are. You don't define yourself, the world does, by the way. A cleaner doesn't really need validation. He does the work whether or people watch or not. A closer kind of needs people to applause and say, yeah, give you a good job. A cooler only works when it's convenient. Just to put it in a summary, and I know I probably butchered the definitions, but just a rough one. So the whole philosophy that I live by is I don't need people to say, well done, Sean, yay. No. As long as I know I've done the work, as long as I've put 100% in, as long as I know that I've done everything I can, that's success. It's never about this music thing, is you versus you. You versus you. The moment you start looking at external things, you've lost. The moment you start going to the studio less, you've lost. You've lost even. The moment you give up on you, you've lost. The whole world will tell me no, but I will never give up.
I think that's commendable. And it shows why you're still standing.
Last man standing. Last man, no matter what happens, right? I had a vow to make to myself, and I made this video when I was like 17, and I'm going to post it regardless. I said hello to 22-year-old Sean when I was in my mother's house. This is now my apartment. And I said to myself, this is a message for myself in 5 years. Have I reached the pinnacle? Hell no. Am I afraid to show that I failed? No. I don't care about people watching me fail. I don't care for people saying, ha ha, he's not made it yet. Because what are you doing? Understand what I'm saying? What are you doing? I don't mind. I'll fail myself to success. If that means I fail 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 2,000,000, I don't care. Because for me, it's about doing the work. Real?
That's real.
Yes. It is. But yeah, to bring it back, there's a lot of things you learn in this journey and you take it as you will. But I promised myself I wouldn't give up, and I won't. You know?
And that's why it's Sean Elégance.
Sean Elégance, man. That's it. It's just a case of persevering, working no matter what, working when the lights are not there, and just continuously going. So to bring it back to everything, they can expect more music from me. They can expect a consistent image from now on in. They can expect, well, I hope it's great quality music. I'll let the audience decide. And I'll never be satisfied. I'll always keep working. No matter what stage I get to in life, there will never ever be a stage where I'm like, I've made it. You know? Because there's no such thing as making it. For me, I just want to continue to work. I want to work and work and work and find the potential within me. I understand that right now, I'm not the person yet. I'm not famous yet. So I'm humble enough to understand that there's work to be done always, no matter what. So for me, it's imperative to stay on top of these documentaries, because imagine, I still thought test, imagine if Elon Musk had this at like, what, 18?
Yeah.
That would be gold. So yeah, after this, I won't be doing much interviews. I want to just show you guys the work, show you guys the music videos that I'm doing. I think a lot of people will be surprised about my accent and where I'm from. I won't say where I'm from, I'll let you guys guess. But yeah, I just want to get to work and, you know, I want to ask you a question. Can you see how hard this journey is? You've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah. I've seen it. It's very hard, but it shows like the work that you put in. And what I mean by that is a lot of people drop out like flies. They stop. And one of the things that I see why they stop is because they're looking left, they're looking right, you're moving straight forward. You just mentioned about at 17 years old, you made a video to yourself talking about where you're going to be at 22. You're probably going to do another one where you're going to be at 25, and it's going to show through your actions. So I think that speaks highly, because you show in your actions who you are, not from speaking. A lot of people speak and they stop and they drop out like flies. So you have to big up yourself for keeping on going and not thinking about what you'd done last Tuesday, even though it might have been amazing. you still go. So yeah, big up you.
Thank you so much, and thank you, honestly. Real. And that thing that you just said at the end, that's it right there. Humility is the biggest thing I've learned in this journey, man. You need to humble yourself. Always humble yourself and understand that, because I've seen the most people think they're on top of the world and life comes at you quick. So another thing, there's so many things that I'm saying to my future version of yourself. Stay humble. Always learn. There's always something you can learn, never finished. So, there's a lot of work to be done. Like I always keep saying, I keep hammering home this, there's a lot of work to be done. Last man standing, work to be done, you versus you. It's not about the crowd. It's not about the audience. It's you versus you. Cultivate your talent. Keep working hard. Keep staying in the studio. Keep thinking about ways to innovate. Keep thinking about ways to bring this genre to light in this country. Keep thinking about ways to move the needle forward. Never give up. Don't listen to people. If you don't want their life, don't take their advice. I don't listen to... No. Like, a lot of people, they get discouraged by people who haven't done nothing. I'm not saying that I'm a millionaire. I'm not saying that I'm him. I understand that. But I understand that the vision that I want, I'm not going to get that by speaking to someone who's not got it. A lot of people can only see small-minded, crabs in a bucket mentality. I see the full world. I see the full scope of life. I see that, okay, cool, there's something to do here. Okay, I can travel here. Okay, I can build. So I'm working towards that. You understand?
Yeah.
So for as long as I'm breathing, for as long as I'm alive, I will always work. Always.
I think you've put it all into perspective.
That's it. That's what we can do. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up and I'll say some closing things. Understand this journey is going to be as hard as hell. This is a message to myself. Should I do a message to myself in 5 years now?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Yeah,
Cool.
right now.
Right now, cool. I'll be 27. Wow. Okay. If you've done everything that we've been doing for the past few months, you should be successful. That's the first thing I'll say. Number 2, I don't care where you are in your life, ground yourself. Number 3, always work no matter what. Keep developing. I don't care what position you're at. I don't know what position you're at right now. I have faith in myself. We'll leave it in terms of the 5th. I know I have faith in myself. But the message to you is, understand where you came from. Understand what it took to get there. Understand you've still not done anything. Even if you're a millionaire right now, Sean, you haven't done fuck all. Hear it from me, your past version. Get back to work. I don't care if you've won whatever award. I don't care. Throw it away and say, okay, cool, we get back to work. And keep that mindset of, okay, cool, I'm fathomable. If I said that word right, I hope I did. Yep. Understand that you need to keep doing this. There's no making it. And that's the message to myself. If you've done everything in your power, if you've stayed on top of everything, if you have stayed focused, stayed diligent, stayed all these words, you will have made it. Whatever making it is. I know that, and I'm going to protect my dream. You will have. If you haven't, it's your fault. Everything is your fault. Understand, there's no such thing as no, it's your fault. If you've made it, it's your fault. If you haven't, it's your fault. I don't care what happens. That's the message to myself in 5 years. I don't care what happens. I don't care about excuses. 0 or 1. Did you win or did you lose?